Phil, it wasn't quite to be in the trophy. It was late on again, wasn't it? Really conceded.
Yeah, we've been having a little look at that, see if it's a trend that we've got to try and offset or try and change if that's the case. And we just had a meeting about it with the players. They're talking about mindset. We brought somebody in from the outside world, not from the footballing world, more from the martial arts industry, from the fighting industry. And maybe it's something that we need to address in terms of our mentality coming towards the end of games, you know. But it's been a good conversation. We've had an hour-long meeting there. I think the players will get a lot of benefit out of it. It's something that we've, throughout my career, I think as a coach, I've always been interested in psychology. I think everybody is. I think most managers are, most coaches are. But the psychology or the mindset of your group, if they don't understand you before the game, they wouldn't be playing the kind of football that we're playing. But it's the moment that 74, 75, 76 minutes comes on the clock that we have to have a mindset that even though we might have had 2 or 3 chances or we should have been in front, we're not. And everybody's got a nobody's got a divine right to win a game of football, and everybody's got a divine right to stay in the game of football. And we've probably witnessed it at the highest level. You know, what you do is just ride your luck in moments where the opposition have had chances, and then you sit and wait for that counter-attack or wait for that moment in the second half late on, and you either score or you concede a goal, and that's what's been happening to us, you know. I think in the league, from winning situations, or shall I say from drawing situations, I think we've lost about 12 points, and that in the end of the day could be very costly. So we've got to do something about it, which we have. We've spoke about it, we've addressed it, which means that you know, hopefully the players will address that situation coming into the latter stages of the game. I don't want it to become a plague. I don't want it to become a problem. But you do have to bring it to people's attention. And maybe substitutions could be better. Maybe the impact of a substitute, or maybe respecting the point. Maybe having that in your head or your mindset might be helpful. But at the same time, I still want me to play the kind of football that we're playing. I think we're going in at half time many times this season, and it's been level. And we've wondered how we're not in front by about 2 or 3 goals. But at the same time, if that happens again on Saturday, we've got to understand that they've got an opportunity. You know, they've got a foothold in the game at 0-0. Everybody has. We've got to make sure that we come away with the points instead of losing them.
It does give a fresh perspective, a different voice, I suppose, someone coming in from outside.
Very much so, and somebody that we trust and train with. You know, he's in the gym at Foundry on a number of occasions. We've been with John. He's in the terraces. You know, he's a Kidderminster Harriers supporter, and that's great to see. You know, the level of communication is coming from the terraces in the right manner, in a constructive manner. Yes, people can criticise, and we accept that as football managers for sure. But at the same time, you know, we are trying everything we possibly can to make sure that we do it right by now till the end of the season. That the good football and the foundations that we've put in place bear fruit in the last 18, 20 games.
Was it one that got away? I know it's the trophy and the league is the main priority, but you did have good chances in that game.
It was one that got away. And again, it's sort of the respect, or shall we say the lack of respect, that the opposition show you to a certain extent. They show you the respect by playing the kind of football that they play and staying in the game, and then the lack of respect because they nick a 1-0 win. It's still a handshake to be had and a conversation to be had after the game, and that's what I don't get about the game at this level. You know, every time in the league you talk to managers after games and there's communication, and I'm not saying that's the right way forward or the wrong way forward. It's just there's a level of respect after the game, and for the team that we played on Saturday, it's just up sticks and leave. I just find that not downright awkward or anything like that. It's just not right. You know, the world of football is such a tough world, you know, and there's got to be winners, there's got to be losers. But after every game, you know, a polite conversation or having a conversation with the opposition manager is not the end of the world. Just to put your points of view across. I think there was an AGM recently, and I made reference to that. I think managers should be going to AGMs, not, with all due respect, secretaries or physios or, you know, directors of football or whatever. I think managers should be going. If you've got the head of the referees who's going to be at the AGM, then he should be talking to managers about what issues you have at this level. And there's quite a few. There's problems that can be resolved just by conversation. And I suppose I'm getting sidetracked from the conversation that you want to have about who we're playing on Saturday. But you know, there's things to be done to improve the game at this level. And if you improve the game at this level, my word, what a great standard of football at this level.
So it was, just to be clear, the point was something just up and left in there after the game. Is that what you were saying?
Majority of teams do. They get in the showers, and my door's open to every manager, every coach and staff or whatever. They want to have a conversation after the game instead of it just being a handshake and on the bus and away. But at the end of the day, that's life at this level.
Looking ahead to this weekend then, well, it's, in fact you look ahead to the next week really, there's never an unimportant phase of any season, obviously, because there are points to be won, but Chorley here and then Chester away does look like a very important phase of the season, really.
It is. I'm not even thinking about Chester. I think Chorley, not that we have a score to settle, I think we didn't do ourselves justice at Chorley. We were beaten by 2 set pieces. Having dominated again, you dominate a game and Chorley got an equaliser just before half time. So there's one of the moments what I'm talking about, where we were controlling the game and chances came along and we didn't put them away. But again, I don't want to make that the biggest problem that we've got. I think that the best problem that we've got is we're playing some great football, but it has to have an end product, and that's what we're trying to achieve on the training ground on a day-to-day basis and hopefully carry it into the game.
I know you brought in Charlie Lutz lately. He's, with all due respect, him largely inexperienced, certainly at first team level, at this kind of level. Are you still looking to bring in an experienced striker? Because, I mean, I've mentioned this before, but, were Amari or actually having to become injured, you are looking a bit thin up there, really. We
are, but again, as I said last time, Trevor, the transfer window stays open, and I was checking, as you do stats, etc., etc. I was looking at Amari and Hemo and how many goals have been involved in it. And it's not just the 14 and the 12 that they've got, which is 26 in my head, but the assists that they've got as well. It's over 30 goals they've been involved with. But as you say, you lose one of them. The last time we lost Amari, because he was playing with an injury, Hemo stepped up to the plate and he scored 3 goals in the game. So, there's doubts, there's if, buts and maybes with regards to losing key players, but we've survived so far this season, having lost 2 key centre-halves, a sitting midfield player and Amari Morgan-Smith at the start of the season. We're not in that vein of form at the moment. We've got quite a healthy squad at the moment, and quite a competition for places is absolutely rife at this moment in time. But got to pick the right team, got to pick the right system, and hopefully that winning formula will carry itself across the white line on Saturday and win the game for we.
But if the right striker with a bit of experience came along, you would be interested.
100%, yes.
Joe Folks, obviously, last time we spoke a week ago, he was due to undergo a scan, I think, that day. What was the upshot of that?
6 to 8 weeks, unfortunately, so if we get Joe for the last 4 to 6 games, that'll be great. But at this moment in time, it's a big chunk out of Joe's career, never mind ours. Having settled nicely into the football club and been here before, as we well know, Joe's record speaks for itself. I think he christened 100 games for the club in the game he got injured, which again is quite ironic. But he'll be a big miss. But there's 1 or 2 opportunities for the likes of Seb Thompson, Rhys McNally, Rhys Devine playing on the right hand side, whichever the case may be. When we spoke last week, you were concerned that as well as the ankle injury, it might have affected his knee. Was that the case? Purely ankle. It was a grade 2 injury on his ankle. He's had a grade 3 problem prior to that, and we were worried about that situation, but that showed up on the scan as a former injury and averted any kind of panic from the physio that we have. She was expecting season over, but I suppose it's a blessing in disguise that it's only 6 to 8 weeks. And I ask about your longer term injuries generally, but obviously I'm thinking, Alex Penny, for example, any close to getting back? No, Alex is in the training ground every day and he's not doing much in terms of the physical side of it because he can't. But he's still contributing to team talks. He's contributing to half times, full times at Agbra, but he's not doing any travelling away. So at this moment in time, he's unfortunately surplus to requirements apart from the experience of a word or two in somebody's ear. Luke's on the field? Luke, fortunately, Luke's looking, I don't know, he keeps himself very, very well in terms of his condition. And he was in the gym again today with Dan Ludlow, and he's pushing some decent weights. So who knows? Fingers crossed. I mean, I'd hate to be in that situation when he's coming to the stage in his career and he's got a broken leg that's going to keep him out for over 3 months. It's worrying times, but he'll have our support 100% all the way through.
And finally, obviously, a lot of games this month, aren't there, really? I mean, it could be a season-defining month, really, because given the amount of matches you have.
You're talking season-defining weeks, actually, not even months. Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, 9 points to play for. We've got to make sure that we start the week on Saturday with a good performance first and foremost. 3 points would be delightful, and then we'll go to Chester with a renewed confidence and hopefully get something from that fixture itself. But we'll concentrate all of our efforts on the Chorley game. A score to settle, if you like. The way we lost the game up at Preston, but not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination. But again, they're coming into a little bit of form. They haven't been beaten in the last 6 games, and they've tightened things up at the back with the 3-0 victory as well. So it's not going to be easy on Saturday, and Andy Priest's teams are always well organised. And he designs his wins, or he designs the majority of his points on set pieces, which we know we've got to be big enough to be able to deal with. But what an example that was last night when Newcastle United had to deal with the bombardment of the goal by Arsenal, and everybody steps up to the plate from a physical perspective. I think that's the key to any kind of success that we're going to have. Physically step up to the plate with regards to putting more bodies on the line, and then the quality that we can produce. Hopefully it'll be enough to get enough points on the board to get us where we want to be.